We started this discussion talking about the resilience of the crypto markets in tough times, at least when it comes to certain things. And we're talking about educating regulators and how, of course, like Jason said, they're not going out of their way to educate themselves. So it should be upon our industry to educate them. There is, of course, the other side of the coin, that is that whenever people see that a celebrity has a huge impact on the prices in the market and in the way the markets move, it can be scary for certain people. It can look like the Wild West for certain people. So, and of course, we're talking Elon Musk here. It is no secret to anyone. So,
ironically, he got in trouble for doing the same thing in the securities market. So he got censured for that behavior. So I can go back to Jason's point. I mean, that's market manipulation. It's just not called that yet in crypto markets, but that's clearly, I think he's no friend of people in crypto right now. Everyone sort of, there was at the Bitcoin Miami conference, they had a big billboard outside, like "stick to space, Elon" or something. So it was, I think that's kind of, in a nice way, I think that's summarizes the sentiment towards him. But I mean, what he's doing would be considered market manipulation in regulated markets. So ironic that he's somebody who got into big trouble for that already, right?
Ironically, so. No, go ahead, Jason, please.
I just on that front, I can remember the day that he was on Saturday Night Live. Every single person that was holding Dogecoin was expecting Doge to go to the market because the speculation was, oh, Elon Musk is going to tell everybody what to do. What happened to Doge? It went down. It didn't go up, right? And there is definitely influences from media channels, guys like Elon, that will affect certain markets, and there is definitely a market manipulation. But the market manipulation is happening in the financial markets every day by major players. The JP Morgans of the world can make a slight shift and can affect the market, right? In traditional financial markets. So can the globe. The usage, the adoption of crypto is demonstrating that this isn't going anywhere, right? So this is going positive, and more people are moving towards it, which is why central banks, governments, groups are pushing now towards their central bank digital currency, which us in the crypto space, I'd say decentralization has some concerns about the impact of what central bank digital currencies will mean. But I believe that we're moving forward, sort of like the Nokia days where they said smartphones were never going to happen, right? Well, guess what? They were wrong. Governments, if they said, oh, this isn't going to happen, we're going to stop it, they're wrong. They tried to stop the internet in the 90s. It didn't happen. It's not going to happen.
They sound like Barnes and Noble, but the online books won't ever take them.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I want to, sorry, Sascha, go ahead.
Now, perhaps I want to echo a little bit, what was said before, also that, when you remember the Euro that was just played in Ronaldo, just moved Coca-Cola away, also the market moved a little bit. So it's something you see anyways. Actually, this was a good observation by a colleague of mine. Generally, I think the crypto is such a new industry. Crypto is an industry without fundamental data. So you don't have earnings that you can look at. Crypto is a decentralized economy, so you don't have an Alan Greenspan that makes the news. So I think we have to learn, what really moves markets, and we probably, as an industry, have a responsibility to explain a little better how the value add really works. Why is something appreciating, and why not, right? And there's no research out there. Yeah, everything, all the arsenal you usually have in financial markets simply doesn't exist, right? There is no key index, there are no ratings, all the arsenal is missing. So I think we have to build that over time. And it's, exactly what Jason said, it's up to us to communicate.
I would ask Dan then, because another factor that put a lot of attention in the crypto industry lately, and of course that also brought a lot of celebrities on board, which are of course influencers and move the tides by themselves, was NFTs very recently. So how do you feel the world can adequate to having so many new people jumping into the crypto space? And I mean, if you want to tie this into the previous discussion, of course, go ahead.
I mean, in terms of the previous discussion on market manipulation and and prices, the traditional art world, which is probably the closest analog to a lot of the crypto art world, is rife with market manipulation, and so too is the crypto art world. I mean, I think a lot of my friends are obviously asking me, should I invest in NFTs? And my answer is buyer beware, right? There's people with deeper pockets and smarter approaches going after the same dollar appreciation you're going after. That said, what's nice about NFTs is a lot of people are engaging with them outside of the appreciative and investment angle. Like some people are just engaging with them for the gaming aspect or the collectible aspect, or once I figure out how to set up my Samsung frame, I'll be able to display some, nice NFTs and show off to the world. And sort of there's that piece of the identity expansion. But it was, it all comes back to what Sascha was saying, which is there is no standard for how to value crypto assets of any kind at the moment. And so, the closest standard I've seen in the DeFi space is total value locked, and like why that is the indication or driver of DeFi protocol value is still a bit opaque to me. It's not clear that that's the right measure, and yet it's kind of the de facto that a lot of people use. And so until we have a lot more historical data and a lot more broader adoption and the benefits of hindsight to see what worked and what didn't work, it's going to be a fairly volatile market compared to the asset classes that have that history and have that hindsight. In terms of bringing sort of celebrities in and new appetite, I've been in the crypto space for not as long as some people here, but for 4 years in Ethereum, building core blockchain protocols. And the question I think I most often got asked is like, what in the real world is this stuff actually good for? And I think there's a lot of very, very true and valuable, theoretical arguments. There's some very true and valuable benefits around payments and things like that. But at least for the last 2 years in the Ethereum ecosystem, we were seeing the adoption largely driven by DeFi. And DeFi is bringing a lot of innovation to the table, but I think there's a somewhat legitimate criticism of it that it's fairly circular in terms of an ecosystem. You're, collateralizing tokens to buy other tokens. You're taking a loan to buy other tokens. You're creating synthetics to buy other tokens, and it wasn't really touching outside this economy. And what's exciting about NFT is celebrities coming into the space, artists coming into the space, brands coming into the space, is they're bringing things that touch the outside economy, that interact value outside of this closed ecosystem very directly. And so for me, I think it's the most bullish signal for the ecosystem. Of course, I would say that I'm very biased, like that's my world. So, I take that with a grain of salt, or maybe you all should as well. But media is, I think, the number one way for this technology to cross the chasm and to pour in hundreds and thousands of new users very quickly into the space. And once I think they get the bug, they'll start experimenting with other use cases, other value stores, other things to do in crypto. And that's only a good signal for all of us.